Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to be joined today by Grants Pass Republican State Representative Carl Wilson. Good to see you, sir.
Greg, thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Happy New Year.
Thank you, and you too.
So I want to start. It haven't been a few months since we've seen you. You announced late last year you decided not to seek re-election. What brought that about?
You know, I've had enough. It's been 12 years, 11 now, going on 12. And, you know, I've had an opportunity to serve in the majority, and I've had an opportunity to serve in the minority. I think I've gotten the full picture, and it's time to go home.
Your leadership last year was challenged, if that's the right word, in the Republican Party. What happened there?
Well, Craig, I'd love to talk about it. It is such a nuanced story that it's hard to explain it all. I think much of it just simply has to do with the fact that we had differing ideas on how to run campaigns in this upcoming campaign season. And that led to some other disagreements as well. But I would say that was the initial challenge, a disagreement on how to run the upcoming campaigns.
Without getting into the weeds, you know, it is just a 5-minute interview, as you know. Can you break down in a nutshell what your vision was versus what others in the party were looking at?
You know, I've always felt that the caucus should be where the campaigns start, and that is where they always traditionally have started. But we had some individuals feel that people outside the caucus should be calling those shots, and I disagreed with that.
A lot of frustration from Republicans, you know, with Democrats, and as of course you would expect, with Democratic supermajority in both the chambers.
It's all about frustration, I think.
Okay, yeah,
Sure.
and we certainly saw that in both chambers last year. What are you expecting next month? We have a short session. It's already January. I mean, you guys are going there in a few weeks.
Yeah, I expect more of same. You know, it's going to be another beatdown, or it's going to be another attempted beatdown, Democrats on Republicans.
Is there anything in particular? Is climate going to be settled next month? Is that coming back?
Well, I bet settled. Yeah, probably so, because I think the Democrats see that they have to do something different here. But on the other hand, they cannot alienate the progressive side of their caucus as well. I understand that climate change or our cap and trade legislation will start on the Senate side and then move to the House chamber. I'm just kind of interested to observe how that's going to work.
I think we all are.
Yeah,
all right, very good. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Much more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Grants Pass Republican State Representative Carl Wilson. We're talking about the short session coming up in just a few weeks. Cap and trade, obviously, on the Democrats' list, as we're talking about. Also, there is talk of getting something on the ballot if it's not done in Salem. Is that how do Republicans view that? Because you guys want some control over the process, and if you don't do it in Salem, there's none.
Yeah, I don't think we feel any particular sense of pressure there, because there is a multi-pronged approach to try to pass climate legislation. But, you know, I'm just focused on what's going to happen on the House floor, and as I say, with this legislation starting on the Senate side and then moving to the more progressive House side. It's going to be interesting because the Democrats have a lot of people to please here, and they have to walk a fine line.
Is there anything else interesting that, I mean, maybe cap and trade's the top, but is there anything else that you think could be controversial next month?
You know, I think guns will come along again, probably the Safe Storage Act, which that's what they call it, but that is going to be a contentious thing, I believe. And maybe vaccinations. It's hard to say.
Also considered last year.
And you bet.
Just like the guns backed off, I think, as part of the deal making between the parties.
That is correct.
Yeah, so a dozen years in the legislature. How are you approaching this session? Free, if you will, of having to run for re-election this year?
Well, you know, I think that not having to run for re-election is just something that belongs in another compartment here, you know. I like to play hard and work hard when the legislature's in session. I can't say I'm looking forward to the session. It's going to be an ugly one. It's going to be tough again. But, you know, when I am free to go engage in other things as far as politics goes, we'll take care of our constituents until the term is over. And we take a lot of satisfaction in really dealing with that issue anyway. We have a lot of constituents who need a lot of help, and we're happy to render it.
Yeah, and of course, family business, KLDR, KJO Radio in Grants Pass, in case people don't know. What is your plan for life after politics?
Well, you know, I think that, you know, it's a family business, as you well know. You know, we've been in this thing for a lot of years, and we love it. And so we'll just continue to look for ways to improve what we do, and who knows, maybe even expand a little bit. Like to do that, but on the other hand, you get anchored with a show. If you're doing a show, whether it's a talk show or anything like that, and I'm not sure I want that ball and chain going forward. I want more freedom to move around and do things. Not exactly sure what that will be, but there will be freedom there.
Well, it's very exciting. Congratulations on what you've done, and good to see you. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks so much.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.